Guys, today's video is about the current housing boom and what's causing it. By the end of this video, I'm going to share with you the current supply and demand imbalance, the rising sales activity, as well as how long we expect the housing growth to continue. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below to keep up to date with all things property and finance. Let's start with how we've seen the housing boom affect first home buyers looking to get in the market. Reem and Vivian came to me as their mortgage broker for assistance with buying their first home in June 2019. We assisted them with securing a pre-approval at the time, and they were looking to spend no more than $600,000 for their first home. Unfortunately, they had no luck in finding the right property. Life got in the way and the pre-approval lapsed in late 2019. It was April 2020 when Reema and Vivian reached back out, eager to restart where we left off in 2019. We'd secured another pre-approval for $600,000 and they went looking to secure a home of their dreams. Once again, they had no luck with finding the right property, and whilst they felt like they wanted to purchase a home for the first time, it wasn't a pressing issue. They were renting month to month and liked where they rented. Plus, were on good terms with their landlord, so felt there was no real rush. Fast forward all the way to February 2021. Reema and Vivian were informed by their landlord that they needed to vacate and had 2 months to do so. The landlord was moving back into their place that they were renting. They got in touch with me again to secure another pre-approval, which was their third in as many years. Reema and Vivian started seriously searching for properties from late February to early March 2021. During this time, they noted that their budget for $600,000 wasn't going to be enough to secure something they'd like. In some cases, the multiple offers ranged from 10 to 40 offers on the one property. They found that properties that were being listed on realestate.com and Domain were being sold within days of it going online. Now, the good news for Reema and Vivian was they were able to secure their dream home in March 2021. However, due to the competitive nature of the market, they ended up needing to spend $195,000 over their initial budget. We've seen this across the board for many of our first home buyers. House values have experienced the fastest growth in 32 years. According to CoreLogic's Home Value Index, which recorded a 2.8% growth in March 2021, which is the fastest rate of growth experienced in the housing market since October 1988. Sydney and Melbourne's recovery has finally outperformed the smaller cities that were leading the charge in growth. Sydney's house values were 2.6% higher than the peak in July 2019, whilst Melbourne's housing values recovered from a 5.6% drop in value caused by the pandemic and set a new record high in March. Capital cities have also finally outperformed regional markets. The combined capital cities index had a lift of 2.8% compared to 2.5% for the regional cities index. So what's causing the housing boom? Well, one cause of the housing boom is sales activity rising. Auction clearance rates and vendor discounting are a good indicator of how hot the market is. We'd seen auction clearance rates consistently held above 80% in March. Auctions are experiencing rapid selling times and vendors are lowering their discounting for private treaty. The number of home sales over the March quarter was 21% higher than the year ago. The 6-month trend in house sales was tracking 16% above the decade average, while unit sales were 0.3% higher than the average. Another reason for the housing boom is there's an imbalance between supply and demand. We'd all recall the supply and demand basics we'd learned in school. This is another good indicator in understanding how fierce the market is. In the 4 weeks leading up to the end of 28th of March, the advertised stock levels were 25% below the 5-year average. This means less stock available to sell on the market, but with a whole heap of competition for it, driving prices up. National new listings were 8% higher than a year ago and 3% higher than the 5-year average. Yet buy demand is consistently outweighing advertised supply. The ratio of sales to new listings is tracking at 1.1, which means for every new listing added, there's 1.1 homes that are sold. This rate of rapid absorption of new listing is causing fear of missing out for many home buyers. So you might be asking yourself, how long can this growth continue? Well, what we're seeing at the moment is 1, the housing market reacting to record low interest rates. 2, Australians are optimistic and confident about the housing market. And 3, supply can't keep up with the heightening demand which is creating a sense of urgency and an upwards pressure in housing prices. With prices soaring, housing affordability is out of grasp for many Australians. As a result, speculation is mounting as to whether regulators will step in to quell the growth, as affordability issues often drive regulatory activity. Whilst expectations are that house prices will rise throughout 2021, the pace of growth will slow. What will trigger the fall in the property market or the slow in its growth depends on whether any of the following three occur. 1. Interest rates rise. 2. Whether the government will continue incentives for first home buyers. And 3. Whether or not restrictions are placed to tighten credit policies and limit the amount of lending getting out there. So what's preventing you from qualifying for a home loan? Here at Hunter Galloway, we get home loans approved. So if you're living in Australia and looking for a mortgage broker, we can help. Visit us online at huntergalloway.com.au or call us on 1300 088 065 and we'll see you next time.